What's up, everyone? It's Tim from TimPlaysAGame here with a pre-release opening for Surging Sparks. New set that's set to come out, I believe, 2-3 weeks from now. I've already gotten some stuff from a pre-release event. We got some of these build and battle boxes. Plus, I think there's 16 packs here. No, there's 16 packs in here and 15 packs right here, so that's going to make a total of 31. So we're going to be opening up these first, then we'll be opening up the packs after that. And yeah, it should make 31. So, first and foremost, let's open up these build and battle boxes. Kind of want to see what we get in each one. Alright, so each one contains one of these little checklists. Looks like we got the Indeedee one here. And 4 packs, which we'll be opening up later. I did go to the pre-release event. It was like a tournament where they had 4 rounds, and each round, basically you had to make a 40-card deck for the thing. They gave you one, but they also gave you 4 packs to like improve it. The one I got was the Magneton deck with Rabsca in it. It was basically just limiting your deck until you get like 3 left, so you can start coming out swinging with Rabsca. Let's see, got another Indeedee one. I don't even know what's in the Indeedee one in 4 packs. I'll open up one of the Indeedees just to see what's in them. I'm kind of hoping I get some of the ancient Pokemon. One in particular, the new Koraidon, looks really good. Let's see, another one. It's Indeedee. And 4 packs. Alright. I mean, the Indeedee's kind of cool. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench, heal 30 damage from your active Pokemon and recover some special conditions. If you're afraid of special conditions or you just really need to heal up your Pokemon, there you go. Watch this 4th one be Indeedee. No, Qianpao. Alright, well, it is what it is. I'm sure I'll get the Koraidons that I need in one of these 31 packs. Alright, so we'll open up one Indeedee and one Qianpao. And there is like a little bit of a mix and match with each one. But I believe they'll be pretty much similar. Yeah, so we got the Indeedee. It's a pretty basic one. Okay, so this one... Oh, huh. That's weird, they've been doing this. They, yeah, there's no Psychic Energies in here to play the Indeedee, but we got the Gouging Fire. We got some Fighting and Fire. Some Grass too. Wo-Chien, Koraidon. We got the Koraidon that I was looking for. That's cool. Yeah, there's like a whole Grass, Fire, and Fighting deck with an Indeedee. I think they said it was kind of random. You know what? Let's open up all 4, see what we get. Just for the heck of it. Let's open up the Qianpao. See, actually, yeah. Let's open up the Indeedee one. We'll see if it's any different. Because yeah, I was getting some people telling me like, yeah, they kind of just randomized the promos for these. Which I don't know if that's the case. I think Indeedee's just there to heal up your bench. Nope, it's about the same. Yep, Gouging Fires, Rabscas. Okay. So that one's the same. And we'll get into more detail about what some of these cards do. I just kind of want to... Because there are some cards in here that are repeats from previous sets. For instance, I did get... I think... let's see, yeah, this is the same one. Okay. Oh, this is Grass and Water. Yeah, this one, we got Buddy Buddy Poffins in each one. This one has the Rabsca, where it's triple draw for the first attack, then... counter turn for the next attack, which is basically if there are 3 or fewer cards in your deck, this attack does 200 more damage. Honestly, if there are 3 cards left in your deck, it's almost game over. And I think this one had this is a Grass and Water variant, but they kind of just splash these Indeedees in here, kind of willy-nilly. I want to see what the Qianpao deck And then after this, we'll get to the packs. I know that's what you're here to see. This is a very interesting Chien-Pao. Basically, its attack is Snow Sink. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may discard a Stadium card in play. Kind of a cool way to get rid of Stadium cards with Lost Vacuum leaving the format soon. And then Icicle Loop, 120 damage, put an energy, attach this Pokemon into your hand. I don't know. You could see some play in a Chien-Pao EX deck maybe, but I don't think so. Yeah, I've seen a bunch of Explorer Guidance cards used with the Rabsca. I'm trying to think maybe there could be something here, but getting your deck down to 3 cards, that is some kind of hell. that's going to be nerve-wracking if they try to mill you. Alright, first pack, Bouffalant. We did get Bouffalant in the last set, the Stellar Crown. This one, not much better, 130 HP, which is kind of an improvement, but it takes out of the range of being found out with Noctowl. Ready to ram, 40 damage during your opponent's next turn. If this Pokemon is damaged by an attack, put 6 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. That's mid. And then Smashing Headbutt for 4 energy, 150, discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. I'm not crazy about it. Feebas, Leap Out, switch it with one on the bench, so it doesn't really attack, but that's a Feebas for you. We got Crocodile, Heat Breath, 130 damage, flip a coin if heads, 50 more. New Tandem Mouse, play rough, 10, maybe 10 more. The Indeedee we were talking about with Obliging Heal. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may heal 30 damage from your active Pokemon and recovers from special conditions. And then Super Psybolt for 50, so not a lot. Yeah, I don't think I'll be seeing much play. It's nice to have a heal in Pokemon form, or a potion. Dust Ball. This is an interesting one. I've seen mixed reviews on this one. Look at the bottom 7 cards of your deck. You may reveal a Pokemon you find there and put it into your hand. Shuffle the other cards back into your deck. I've had a friend suggest playing Iono in tandem with this, and then you can get back any Pokemon you put back into your deck with Iono. But why would you just... Why? I mean, I guess if you're trying to keep it there... I'm not sure. I'm not sure of this card. I'd probably go with Great Ball because you can do the top 8 cards. But I guess if you're really trying to find Pokemon, then there's Dusk Ball. So I guess that could be the 8th Great Ball. We got Armorogue, 140 HP, decent. Combustion for 15, that's okay. Crimson Blaster, discard all fire energy from this Pokemon, and this attack does 180 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. I don't see it seeing play. The Tapu Koko is decent. Summon Lightning, search your deck for up to 2 electric Pokemon, reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck, and then prize count. Does 90 damage, and if you have more prize cards remaining than your opponent, then it does 90 more. I guess it can be used similar to that of Luxray. The Luxray that can be special summoned. That one has more HP, but I guess. No, then I guess it doesn't work. Never mind. I was thinking it's similar to that of Luxray, but it's not an evolution, so you can't use reversal energy. So never mind. We got Charcadet, and the rare is Palkia. For a grass and water energy, Space Crash does 40 damage for each basic energy attached to this Pokemon. So just the normal grass and grass and water, and it does 80. That's decent. It's a 1 prizer. I don't like it. I'll open up a bunch at a time though. We'll just keep them here. Next pack, we got Quaxwell. We got Morlul, Helioptile, Caps Kid. Yeah, these are kind of basic. This Walrein is pretty interesting. It's Stage 2. It has Frigid Fangs for 1 water energy, does 60 damage, and during your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon that have 2 or less energy attached can't attack. This includes new Pokemon that come into play. So even retreating the Pokemon and sending a new one, no. This is kind of an area effect. So that's kind of a cool one. Then Megaton Fall. This attack does 170 damage and then 50 damage to itself. But for 2 water energy, it's pretty good. There's got to be something with this. There's a lot of Pokemon in game right now that will attack with only two. That it says 2 energy, so not 2 energy cards, 2 energy. So you get a DT and something else, and you're good. I'm thinking about the Frigid Fangs attack. Yeah, there's something there. I gotta look for it. We got the Magnezone card. The Magneton is the real winner of this set, but the Magnezone's pretty cool. 80 damage for Mighty Magnetism. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused, and during your opponent's next turn, that Pokemon can't retreat. So they're confused and they can't retreat, which is great. Zap Cannon for 180, but you can't use Zap Cannon during your next turn. So then we got Goldungo for a 1 Steel Energy, Strike It Rich. If this Pokemon evolved from Gimmighoul during this turn, this attack does 90 more damage, and then Surf Back. 100 damage, and you may shuffle this Pokemon and all cards attached to it into your deck. If you can recycle the Gimmighoul and the Goldungo over and over again. This Aves Elf is decent. Neurokinesis does 10 damage plus 10 more for each damage counter on all of your opponent's Pokemon. There's a Mesprit and an Uxie in here. I'm thinking of some kind of deck where all 3 of them can work together, but it's kind of still a fever dream. Cast Form, Sunny Form, 70 damage. You can Singe, and the active Pokemon's now burned. Or you can Sunny Assist, move all energy from this Pokemon to one of your bench Pokemon. Meh. And then Tapu Lele. Perplex does 20 damage, and there's a lot of confusing Pokemon in here. Not that I'm confused by them, but they confuse, literally. And then Mental Crush does 90 damage, and if the active Pokemon is confused, this attack does 90 more damage. So, yeah. There are some underwhelming cards in here, but there are some pretty overwhelming ones too. We'll get to those. Bronzor, 20 plus 20 more. Molol, Diglett. The Diglett and the Dugtrio are nonsense. Don't worry about them. But yeah, surprise attack for no energy. Flip a coin if Tails does nothing. So nothing for nothing. It's nothing. Volcarona, Leech Life for 30. Heal from this Pokemon the same amount of damage you did to your opponent's active Pokemon. And then Turbulent Wings, 150, but it does 50 to itself, so We have Paldean Tauros, Rear Kick for 30, Spirited Tackle, 90, and if the active Pokemon, your opponent's active Pokemon is a Stage 1, does 90 more. I'm not seeing too many Stage 1s. By the way, that's Stage 1, but not the V-Star. The V-Star Pokemon are not Stage 1 Pokemon. That's very important. Deduction Kit, look at the top 3 cards of your deck and put them back in any order. Shuffle them. No, wait. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck and put them back in any order, or shuffle them and put them in the bottom of your deck. So if you like those 3 cards and you want certain ones on top, you can do that. If you don't like any of them, you can just put them back at the bottom of the deck and forget about them. Altaria. It's an interesting little one-prizer. Humming Charge, search your deck for up to 2 basic energy and cards and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. Then shuffle your deck. Good way to accelerate energy. Wish it wasn't a Stage 1, though. Then Cotton Wings, 100 damage. Flip a coin. If heads during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks. So it's a bit of a stall Pokemon, but Humming Charge allows you to throw energy around. We got a Stunfisk, Paralyzing Crackle, 50 damage. Flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed, and discard energy from that Pokemon. Don't like it or hate it. The Victini, Victory Cheer ability, attacks used by your Evolution Fire Pokemon do 10 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon, and that does stack. I'm trying to think of any good Evolution Fire Pokemon right now. So yeah, I guess you could have a few of them on the bench, do a little more damage, but yeah, I'm not thinking of any that come to mind. It can be brought out with Buddy Puffin. And then, ooh, the Durant. This is an interesting EX one. Not my favorite one, and actually it's my least favorite in the set, but we gotta talk about it. Sudden Shearing. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may discard the top card of your opponent's deck. So that's it. You just play it, discard the top card of your opponent's deck. Vengeful Crush does 120 damage. This attack does 30 more damage for each prize card your opponent has taken. So it won't be able to do more than... Let's see, 90, 150. Won't be able to do more than 270. That can knock out Charizard. It's kind of good for a basic EX. But there are better. I mean, first one that comes to mind is Terapagos EX. Not Terapagos. Ogerpon. Ogerpon EX Teal form. Teal mask. That's probably a better basic EX grass. This one with 190 HP won't be around too long, but I like the idea of sudden shearing and using cards like Turo and Penny to bring this card back into your hand and just keep using it over and over again, just shearing off one card every turn. I guess I could do something with the attack. There's not a lot of pieces there to actually build something on, though. But if you're trying to build like a mill deck, it's worth a look. I still think the best mill card is Great Tusk, the one that shears off 4 cards when you play an Ancient Supporter. Oh no, the Wug Trio, sorry, the one that does up to 9. But that's kind of random. We got Bronzor, Molol, Diglett. Did we already open this pack? Volcarona, Grafaiai. Let's see, Mischievous Painting. Attach up to 3 energy cards from your opponent's discard pile to their Pokemon in any way you like. So, kind of helping out your opponent there, but if you attach it like in a way that kind of messes them up, they can't retrieve those energies. I can see that messing up a Raging Bolt deck pretty well. But again, they can always just discard the energy off their other Pokemon. I don't know. Energized Graffiti. This tech does 40 more damage. Sorry, this tech does 40 damage for each energy attached to all of your opponent's Pokemon. So, yeah, I can see this messing up a Charizard EX deck pretty well. Yeah, they only play around with like 5 or 6 energy. And you can attach them all into like a Manaphy or something, then yeah. That'd be pretty mean. But then they just send the Manaphy in and wait for you to knock it out. Passimian, Coordinated Throwing. This attack does 20 damage for each of your basic Pokemon in play. You can have up to 8 with Area 0, so 160, not great. Colbert Berry. We saw a couple of these last set, these berries that reduce damage when attacked by a certain type of Pokemon. Colbert Berry is for Dark. If this Pokemon this card is attached to is damaged by an attack from your opponent's Dark Pokemon, take 60 less damage from and discard this card. So that's kind of interesting, just 60 less. Can't really see, I think the first thing that comes to mind is Charizard EX. Yeah, so you could probably tank a Charizard attack with one of these babies. I'm not sure if I would use it to fill up one spot in my deck though. But Shiinotic, once during your, I guess if you have Pokemon that are weak to Dark types, that's probably your best bet. Probably like for a Gardevoir deck. Shiinotic, Calming Light. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, you may make your opponent's active Pokemon asleep. So yeah, you can just put it in the active spot, say you're asleep, and move on. Spiral Rush. Flip a coin until you get tails. Attack does 30 more damage for each head, so realistically you'll probably do 60, 90, maybe 120, but nothing much after that. We got a Bronzong. Spinning attack, 50, and then double impact, 100. Flip 2 coins. For each head you do 100. And we got Gouging Fire. I like this one. There's something here. There's potential. In the pre-release, this card was freaking amazing. Lunge Out does 30 for 1 fire energy, and then for Blazing Charge, 100, plus 70 more if your opponent has 4 or fewer prize cards remaining. So yeah, 170 on a 1 prizer is pretty good. You double that, that's 340. That knocks out almost anything. So, but it's kind of a high energy cost. Not so much with cards like Magma Basin, but that's leaving format soon. But I'm willing to bet with using cards like Professor Sada's Vitality to put fire energy onto Pokemon, we could see some play from Gouging Fire. I am trying to bring back the Lost Box, or not the Ancient Box deck. Once we get that Koraidon, I'll talk more about it. Alright, we got a Volcarona, Togepi, Blitzel, Yamask, Jasmine's Gaze. New supporter card during your well, I'm not sure if it's a new one, but during your opponent's next turn, all of your Pokemon take 30 less damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. Yeah, it's a very weird buffer. But I can see it being like on certain spread damage. There are a few Pokemon in this set that do a decent amount of spread damage, but if you're really worried about those Pokemon, I don't know. It's weird. I think Manaphy does it better. If you're worried about protecting your bench Pokemon. All of your Pokemon take, yeah, so 30... I don't know, it's kind of weird to use your supporter for the turn on something like that. We got Xerneas, 30 damage for Aurora gain, heal 30 damage from this Pokemon, and then Giga Impact, can't use this attack during your next turn. Terra Orb, this was going to see some play. Search your deck for a Terra Pokemon, reveal it, put it into your hand. Much like the same way people have been using Featherball to bring out Pidgeot and Mew EX, people are going to start using Terra Orb to bring out their Charizard EX, their Dragapult EX. I myself have a Greninja EX deck, which I'm going to try putting it in. You can also use it on some of these new Terra Pokemon, but it's nice that they have some real support now. We got Kecleon. Let's see, Expert Hider. If any damage is done to this Pokemon by attack, flip a coin. If heads, prevent that damage. And then Lick Whip. This attack does 30 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. I can see this being really annoying. This with Pheasantipity. The one prizer Pheasantipity from a couple sets ago. Oricorio, 90 damage, energy assist, or 90 HP, energy assist. Attach 2 basic energy cards from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. I like that there are some one prizers that accelerate energy, but they're not that great. And then Fireworks, discard energy from this Pokemon to do 30 damage for one. Milotic EX, nice. I wanted this one. We're going to start seeing this card in stall decks, unfortunately. I don't like that stall decks are getting support, but I do like seeing new water Pokemon. 270 damage, 270 HP for a stage 1 is pretty good. Sparkling Scales, its ability to prevent all damage from and effects of attacks from your opponent's Terra Pokemon done to this Pokemon. We're going to see more and more Terra Pokemon with these upcoming sets. And this will be very good at just preventing that. Much like the same way Cornerstone Ogerpon prevents damage, Mimikyu prevents damage. This thing will be your way to prevent damage from Terra Pokemon. And I've been seeing it used more and more in stall decks that use Noivern EX. Yeah, and even the freaking Snorlax stall, which I hate. But, we only have to put up with it until Snorlax rotates out in April. But we have that. Next one, we got Mankey. Execute. This is the Execute. There's an Exeggutor, Alolan Exeggutor that can work really well with this. This Pokemon, if you go first, you can use this attack during your first turn. Even if you don't go first, you can just play it on the bench, attach an energy, and then use that. Search deck for a card that evolves from this Pokemon, put it onto this Pokemon to evolve it, and then shuffle your deck. So yeah, that's kind of cool. You got a real easy way to get out Exeggutor, and hopefully we'll find that Alolan Exeggutor. But 30 HP, it's like, ooh, you're gonna want to play that baby and evolve it as soon as you can. We got Swablu, Disarming Voice, and 10 damage, and it's confused. This is an interesting Rotom. We're getting a lot of Rotoms in lately. Rotom, Crushing Pulse for 1 electric energy. Your opponent reveals their hand. Discard all item cards and Pokemon tools cards you find there. Very early on in the game, I can see that being good, or after they use something like Rotom V. You can play Crushing Plate, get rid of those item cards, but generally your opponent won't be holding on to too many item cards or tool cards. Energy Short. I mean, you might be able to discard a few things, but it's something to look at. Energy Short, 20 damage times the number of each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. Yeah, unfortunately, you don't see a lot of crazy energy Pokemon. I mean, it'll do 100 damage to a Dialga V-Star. I can't see it being used competitively, though. Cyrano. This one's a different story. Search your deck for up to 3 Pokemon EX, reveal them and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. We're seeing a lot of Pokemon EX being used more and more now, so Cyrano probably we'll see some more. We'll see a little play, probably one of those. Problem is 3 Pokemon EX. If your opponent knocks out all 3 of those Pokemon EX, that's the game. That's 2 prizes for each one of those EXs, so you better have a pretty good strategy here. But I guess you could bring out the. Let's see, if you go second, bring out the Squawkabilly EX. There's Latias EX that's really good. You want on the bench, and maybe Pheasantipity EX. So there you go. You set up a pretty good dream team of winning the game there. Paldean Taros. Smash Kick for 40, then Blocking Stomp. The defending for 90. If the defending Pokemon is a basic Pokemon, it can't attack during your opponent's next turn. Meh. Bruxish, counterattack. If this Pokemon's in the active spot and is damaged by an attack, put 3 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon, and then Big Bite for 50, and it can't retreat. Here we go. This is one of the interesting new cards in the set. Magneton, 100 damage, 100 HP at stage 1. Its ability is what's most noticeable. Overrevolt Discharge. Once during your turn, you may attach up to 3 basic energy cards from your discard pile to your Pokemon, electric Pokemon, in any way you like. If you use this ability, this Pokemon is knocked out. So, for a long time, not a long time, but for a while, we haven't had a good way to get electric energy out of the discard pile and then get it onto the electric Pokemon. We've had ways like energy retrieval, but this way, this just straight up attaches, and it doesn't have to be electric energy, it can be any basic energy. We have a Pikachu EX in this set that I hope we find, and I'll tell you more. There's a really good strategy. But much like the same way Duskull and Dusknoir from Shroud Fable knocks itself out, this thing can knock itself out to power up your electric-type Pokemon. Miraidon EX, those Miraidon decks that with Iron Hands EX. There's also I'm trying to think, Iron Thorns EX. Yeah, those are some electric Pokemon that come to mind that could really, really, really benefit from Magneton's effect. So we'll have to see more. Dino. There's actually a Hydreigon I hope we get. There's so many cards I want to get, but this one you can stomp off and discard the top card of your opponent's deck or bite for 20. And then Cofagrigus. Law of the Underworld. Put 6 damage counters on each Pokemon that has an ability. I can see that being pretty useful in like a Frostlass, like combined with Frostlass maybe. Spooky Shot, 100 damage. So there's something there. Not sure what. Pretty pleased with what we got so far, but kind of hoping for some big pulls here. Clobopus, Heliolisk, Parabolic Charge. Search your deck for up to 4 energy cards, reveal them, put them into your hand. Why can't you just attach them? Don't worry, there's another card that does that. Electro Slug for 80. And we have Cetotile. Is that right? Cetotl. That's okay. It's like, try to remember how to pronounce some of these names. Glimmet. Shiinotic. Time. I don't like this one, but I'll just go through it real quick. Tell your opponent the name of a Pokemon in your hand, say Milotic EX, and put the Pokemon face down in front of you. Your opponent guesses the Pokemon's HP, 270. If they guess right, they draw 4 cards. If they guess wrong, you draw 4 cards. Then you return the Pokemon to your hand. So, weird toss-up. I wouldn't recommend it. There are better draw cards. Victini, Smoochum, Delightful Kiss. Search your deck for up to 2 basic Psychic Energy cards and attach them to one of your bench Pokemon. Don't know. The premier Psychic Energy distributor is Gardevoir EX. This could be used to start the party, but I don't see it being too useful. Drillbur, discard the top card of your opponent's deck or Mudslap for 10, and boom, Scovillain EX. As long as this Pokemon is in play, it's a Grass and Fire type. Spicy Rage, this attack does 70 more damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. Okay, so 70... It says 10. I just noticed this. It says 10 plus. Okay, yeah, it does 10 plus 70 more. I'm like, that didn't make sense there. Yeah, 10 plus 70 more for each damage counter on this Pokemon. So you can put 25 damage counters on him as is. 25 times 70. Am I reading that right? Yeah, so I just did the math. I was like, I didn't want to say this before I was right about this, but you put this thing can do 1,750 damage, which is unheard of for if you get 25 damage counters on him precisely, which, yeah, that's going to be a little difficult to do, but that's a lot of damage. Wow, this little guy can pack a punch. So realistically, if you want to knock out anything, like anything in the game, 340 HP is the way to go. I mean, that's a lot of damage for 2 fire energy. Holy crap. Charizard EX can cap at 330, and that's if they take 5 of their prize cards. This attack, 70 damage. Let's see. So I'm just doing the math in my head. 40, 140, 280. Yeah, if there's 5 damage counters on this thing, if this thing has 50 damage on it, it can knock out almost anything with 360 damage. That being a grass and a fire type, and can knock out almost anything. Wow. Okay, then. You are a strong little guy. I'm going to have to take a second look at you, mister. Alright, then Volcarona, Togepi, Blitzel, Yanmask, Jasmine's Gaze, Xerneas, Terra Orb, Esper, See Through, your opponent reveals their hand, and then Psyshot for 20. You got Dusk Ball, and the rare, Landorus. Fist of Focus, attach an energy from your discard pile to this Pokemon. Buster Swing, 130. This attack isn't affected by resistance. Good. I like that. It's affected by weakness, but not resistance. Still, though, it's a crap load of energy, though. I don't know. Next one, Spupa. Donphin. So, Knock Flat for 40. This attack isn't affected by any effects of your opponent's active Pokemon. That's decent. Guarded Rolling, 120. Discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes 100 less damage. Discarding 2 energy I don't like. It's too many energy. Fuecoco, Heat Burn for 20, and your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned. That's decent. Mantine, Wave Splash 30, Aqua Dive. This attack does 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Not a lot of 50. Yeah, not a lot of people playing the 50 HP Pidgey anymore, so don't know about that. Jasmine's Gaze, Registeel. This one's not great. Raging Hammer does 60 plus 10 more damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. Why couldn't it be the other way around? Espathra, Mystical Eyes. Devolve one of your opponent's evolved Pokemon by putting the highest stage evolution card on it into your opponent's hand, so it's a implanted de-evolution. I would just use TM de-evolution. And then Spiral Drain, 60. I mean, if it had a better second attack, I can see this being useful. Spiral Drain, 60 damage, and then heal 30 damage from this Pokemon. Let's see, we got Wo-Chien. This was an interesting one. Like with the Rabska, it does a crazy amount of damage for there being only 3 cards left in your deck, 3 or fewer cards in your deck. This one has Hazardous Greed, 20 damage, and if there are 3 or fewer cards in your deck, this attack also does 120 damage to 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Now, that's great and all, but you're working with a 60-card deck, and it's not impossible to limit your deck like that, but it's extremely dangerous to do that. And then Entangling Whip, 130, and then discard the top 3 cards of your deck. I don't know. There could be something there, but I'm not sure if I'm ready to go there. Volcarona, and then Tapu Lele. You already got Tapu Lele. Alright. Spupa, Donphin, Fuecoco, Mantine, Callbell, sorry, I thought it was Cellbell. Callbell. You can only use this card if you go second and only during your first turn. Very narrow window. Search your deck for a supporter card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. Pokegear 3.0 is better. Pokegear, you can only take the top 7 cards of your deck and pick a supporter. This one lets you pick any supporter, but you have to go second. So if you're not going second, this card's already worthless. Miraidon, this is a good one. 120 HP. The attack code Protect does 40 damage. During your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage done to each of your future Pokemon by attacks from Pokemon EX. So Here's a good way to block certain EX Pokemon that can future decks having having a hard time with getting knocked out with by like other EX Pokemon. A lot of future Pokemon EX, a lot of future Pokemon just they're basics. All the future Pokemon are basics. This one can, but the thing is, it has to, for Code Protect to work, it has to stay in the active spot. So they boss order around it. Called Counter Catcher, Pokemon Catcher. There's even another new one in here called Lucia's, whatever. But yeah, it's a very weird Protect. Yeah, if this Pokemon is no longer active, this effect ends. So, and then 100 Thunder Claws for 100. It's decent. Drayton, look at the top 7 cards of your deck. You may reveal a Pokemon and Trainer card from you find there and put them into your hand. Shuffle the other cards into your deck. Trying to think. 7 cards. I mean, you'll definitely find both, so it's a +1 in that respect. I guess the thing is, if you don't find a Pokemon and then in there, it's not a +1. If you don't find a trainer card, I mean, in most decks you'll probably find a trainer card. Yeah, I guess it could work. I just can't think of anything to use it well with. So it's something to keep an eye on. Sandy Gas can spray sand for 50. Mankey can dual chop for possible 20. Terapagos, yes, this one. Prism Charge. Search your deck for up to 3 basic energy cards of different types. Attach them to your Tera Pokemon in any way you like. The thing about the new Tera Pokemon that are coming out, they have like these crazy 3 energy attacks. Terapagos says, yeah, I got you, bro. Terapagos just comes out, Prism Charge, puts them on there, and it's a 1 prizer, so it gets knocked out easily. That's something you don't have to worry too much about. Hard Tackle for 100, that's meh. But honestly, this Terapagos, first thing that comes to mind is this Terapagos with the Pikachu that just came out. Get that electric, yeah, there's an electric, a steel, and a grass energy to get its attack going. And then you can always Magneton to get the energy back on, or you have to discard the energy, but you can always knock out a Magneton to get those energy back on. This is something to keep an eye on. It's got a lot of uses. Next pack, Bronzong, Sandygast, Drillbur, Magnemite, Victini, Turtonator. This is an interesting dragon. Fully Singed, discard energy card from your opponent's active Pokemon EX. I mean, I guess it would be an energy card, so. And then Steaming Stomp does 100 damage. I don't know. Paldean Tauros. Yes! Precious Trolley. So this is one, probably, I'd say the best ACE SPEC from the new set. Precious Trolley. Search deck for any number of basic Pokemon and put them onto your bench. Shuffle your deck. That's insane. Just if you can get this thing on your first or second turn, that's insane. You can just like set up your whole strategy. If you have Area 0 Underdepths on the field, you can, and you already have the Tera Pokemon play, you can fill your bench up to 8 Pokemon. That's insane for just this card. So this card has a lot of options. Definitely one of the cards one of the ACE SPECs that a lot of people were trying to find. We got Ninetales, Fire Soul. This attack does 50 damage and then 30 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. That's meh. Chien-Pao we talked about. Snow Sink. Discard the stadium when you play this Pokemon. Then Icicle Loop 120. Return the energy to your hand. It is what it is. Precious Trolley though. Holy crap. That is worth the pack. Very fortunate to get that card. Yeah, I'm thinking of a number of decks I can use that in. I mean, Charizard deck comes to mind. Anything that requires a good amount of setups, and that's EX Pokemon too. Alright, next Bronzong, Sandygast, Drillbur, Magnemite, Wo-Chien, Meddling Memo. Not a great card, but let's talk about it. Your opponent counts the cards in their hand, shuffles those cards, and puts them at the bottom of their deck. If they do, they draw that many cards. Yeah, so it's... I mean, Iono's better. If you're trying to mess up your opponent's hand, Iono's a better card. Or Judge. But this, I mean, it's an item card, so that's good. It's not restricted by supporters. But you're not really hurting your opponent. You're giving them a new hand. And, yeah. Magneton, great card. Slackoth. Alolan Diglett, and Dialga. So, time manipulation for 1 energy. Search your deck for 2 cards. Shuffle your deck, then put those 2 cards on top in any order. So it's basically a what is it? Cypher Maniac's code breaking, and then Buster Tail for a Psychic, Steel, and a colorless does 160 damage. Not impressed. If you need the effect of Cypher Maniac's code breaking, just do that then. Play the supporter and be done with it, and keep doing your turn. All right, next one: Vulpix, Swablu, Sandygast, Zwellius. We saw the Dino. I'm hoping to find the Hydreigon later on, but the Zwellius. Stomp off, discard the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck, and Darkness Fang does 60. Ninetales. Call Bell. Quackquaval, we haven't talked about this one yet. It's a Stage 2 Pokemon, up tempo. You must put a card from your hand at the bottom of your deck in order to use this ability. Once during your turn, you may draw cards until you have 5 cards in your hand. So, take a card from your hand, put it at the bottom of the deck, then you can draw 5 cards. Not crazy about it. Barrel, if you want to do that, Barrel's better. But once Barrel becomes rotated out, I can see this might get use. I don't know. You got Scatterbug. Ooh, full art Feebas. And the rare is the Rapska, where basically, yeah, we talked about this one earlier. Yeah, the Feebas is kind of cool. Let's get a good look at that. It's nice. Watch this be like $1,000 card. And then the Rapska. Triple draw 3 cards, which is good for 1 energy on a stage 1. Counter turn, 40 damage, plus 200 more if there are 3 or fewer cards in your deck. We talked about the Wo Chien earlier. Let's talk about the Rapska. 240 is great for 1 energy, but you got to put yourself into a losing scenario to make that happen, so... yeah, not sure about that one. It's a nice looking Feebas, though. Alright, next pack, Yamask. Quaxley, Larvesta, Mankey, Ninetales, Callbell, Grafaiai, Dedenne, Electromagnetic Sonar, put a trainer card from your discard pile into your hand. That's pretty decent. A lot of these ACE SPECs are trainer cards, so nice to put that on a little one-prizer. Donphin, and the rare. Yes! Got you, finally. Hydreigon EX. It's a Tera Pokemon. It's a Dark type. Yeah, and its ability is pretty dang awesome. Not abilities, attacks. Crushing Headbutt. 200 damage for a Dark and a colorless. Discard the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck. That's pretty good. You gotta do some serious damage and a little bit of a mill. And then Obsidian for a Psychic, a Dark, a Steel, and any other energy. That's 4 energy. Jeez Louise. You do 130 damage, and this attack does 130 damage to 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So 130 to the active, 132 of the bench Pokemon. You could potentially knock out 3 EX Pokemon, very low HP EX Pokemon, mind you, with this attack. I mean, yeah, you could... yeah, you can do some serious damage. Let's leave it at that. But yeah, you'd have to... I can see this thing being used with Dusknoir, being used with other damaging effects. But yeah, using Obsidian over and over. You can once you have those 4 energy on, you can keep using Obsidian over and over again, and just spread crazy amounts of damage over the bench. And yeah, I can just wow. I really, I really want to make something with this. It's so much power and so, but it's not like. But the problem is high HP Pokemon like the ones we've seen in a lot of regional tournaments, like Charizard EX. Yeah, one and like Dragapult EX, Regidrago V-Star. A lot of you're looking at 280, and when you're only hitting 130 at a time, you're not going to be knocking them out easily. So yeah, there's ways to get around it though. Yeah, so we got a Hydreigon EX. Hopefully, I can get 2 more of those. That'd be great. Fingers crossed. Dang, these last 4 packs. I got Precious Trolley. Got the Hydreigon EX. I'm also pretty happy about that Milotic we got earlier. Alright, next one, Rotom, Togepi, Helioptile, Charcadet, Grafaiai, Cyrano, Paldean Tauros, Chien-Pao, Counter Gain. We haven't talked about this one yet. If you have more prize cards remaining than your opponent, attacks used by this Pokemon, the Pokemon this card's attached to, is 1 colorless energy less. So yeah, this is actually a reprinted card, I believe. But it's kind of nice being able to knock off that 1 colorless energy. I can see it being used more in like, hard to say really. Terapagos is the first thing that comes to mind if you're only using that first attack. Hydreigon could probably use it pretty well, knock off that 1 colorless energy. Also, I think the better one would probably be that ACE SPEC Crystal, but then there's this too. And then we got Skeledirge. Unaware prevents all effects of attacks used by your opponent's Pokemon done to this Pokemon. Damage is not an effect. And then Torcerto. 60 damage plus 20 more for each bench Pokemon yours and your opponent. A maximum of 260 for fire and a colorless is pretty good. Or more if Area 0 is a factor. So decent. Not sure. I mean, it's kind of like, I think Palkia V-Star would be the way to go. It has more HP, but then this thing's not too bad. Can't say anything good or bad about it. I mean, the cool thing is you can actually power it up easily with Magma Basin, but Magma Basin's leaving the format soon. Next pack, Mantine, Bronzong, Sandygast, Drillbur, Turtonator, Counter Gain, Altaria, Oricorio, Pasho Berry. This is just like the Colbur Berry, but this one is for water, so if you have a problem with water or dark Pokemon, these are your berries. And Cofagrigus. Alright, next one. We got the Sigilif. Double draw 2 cards. Pretty decent if you're starting out. Cybolt, 60 damage, flip a coin, flip a coin if heads. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. Duraludon. There's an Archaludon EX, so this one actually works really well with it. Confront for 50, Duralu Beam for 130, discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. Which isn't too bad considering what Archaludon EX does, but more on that later. Sizzlepede, Yamask, Passimian, Lively Stadium. There are 2 stadium cards in this set that are actually pretty crazy. Lively Stadium, each basic Pokemon in play, yours and your opponent's, gets 30 HP more. Pretty great, because we have a lot of basic Pokemon, a lot of Pokemon V, like Lumineon V, Rotom V. They're really great cards to have, but one of their downfalls is they get knocked out easily. This kind of gives them a bit of a chance. We also use Pheasantipede now, which is a basic. A lot of decks use big basic decks, like a lot of decks, yeah, they're big basics, like Miraidon EX, sorry. Miraidon EX, got Roaring Moon EX, Raging Bolt EX. This gives them a little bit more wiggle room. Yeah, so definitely a good card to have. There's also another stadium. I said there's another stadium that's kind of also beneficial, but more of it's kind of a screw you to certain Pokemon. We got Shiinotic, we got Wo-Chien, Glimmora. We didn't talk about this one yet. Corrosive Shards does 20, and your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. During your opponent's next turn, energy cards cannot be attached from your opponent's hand to that Pokemon. That's interesting. And then Rock Throw for 60, which is, it's not the best Glimmora, but it is what it is. And then the rare is Zarude. Leaf Drain, 20, Heal 20, Jungle Whip, 80 plus 80 more, but you have to put all energy attached to this Pokemon into your hand. So 80 or scoop up all the energy and do 160. I don't like it. Next pack, Execute, Swablu, Rotom, Vibrava, Quaquaval, Cyrano, Paldean Tauros. This is the water one. Upthrusting Horns, 30 damage. You may put 2 energy attached to your opponent's active stage 2 Pokemon into their hand. Very important. That one, now the other Paldean Tauros in the set, I don't like. This one I like. Because a lot of stage 2 Pokemon are going to use 2 energy. Like, first 2 that come to mind, Charizard EX, Dragapult EX, to a lesser extent, Greninja EX. We got the freaking Hydreigon EX that uses 4 energy. Yeah, so this could really mess them up for for doing that one attack. I can see maybe putting this in a Chien-Pao deck, giving a little bit away to give Chien-Pao room to come in and start attacking. Because once those energy are in the hand, yeah, if you're putting 2 energy in the hand, you're going to mess up their attacks. You buy yourself a turn. So, maybe, I don't know. It's just something to consider. Esper, Goldungo, and the rare is, boom. Come on now. I better not get 2 more Zarude. That would be very Zarude to me. Next one, Blitzel, Yamask, Quaxley, Larvesta, Armorogue, Pashaberry, Azumarill. We haven't talked about this one yet. You can use Double Edge for 4 Psychic Energy and do 230 damage, do 50 damage to itself. But there's that ability. If you have any Tera Pokemon in play, you have to have at least one. This Pokemon can use Double Edge for 1 Psychic Energy. Pretty good for a 1 prizer. So 1 Psychic Energy, do 230. It probably won't last the next turn, but it's a nice little 1 prizer to combine with certain Tera Pokemon. We got Esper. Ooh, look at that cast form. It has a Sunny form cast form. It's kind of nice. And the rare is Landorus. Okay, it's not as a rude, so I'll take it. Alright, next pack. Citadel, Glimmet, Magnemite, Pansear, Passimian, Colberberry, Walrein, Paldean Tauros, Centiskorch. We didn't talk about this one. Billowing Heat Wave. This attack does 30 damage to each of your benched Pokemon. So I guess that could be useful in a Hisuian Zoroark V-Star deck. I don't know. I don't like it. And then 80 damage. No. The rare is Skeledirge. Okay. Got some pretty good ones on that one. I got about 11 packs left, I believe. Alright, next pack. Stunfisk, Dedenne, Mankey, Zebstrika, sorry, like Quaquaval, Callbell, Grafaiai, Celio. Clemont's Quick Wit. Heals 60 damage from each of your electric Pokemon. I can see it working, maybe one of them working its way into a... I don't know, spread damage isn't really much of a threat. But I could see maybe one of them working their way into a Miraidon deck. And then Iron Crown is the rare. Deleting Slash. Oh man, just yelling deleted every time you use this attack. If your opponent has 3 or more bench Pokemon, this attack does 80 more damage, so 120 for 2 energy is decent. Or you can just go for the Slicing Blade for 100. Not the best Iron Crown, but it is what it is. Next pack, we have Eevee. Let's talk about this Eevee. Boosted evolution. As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, it can evolve during your first turn or on the turn you play it. So, yeah, this Eevee, I mean, don't worry about everything else as long as you play it just to evolve it. Is what. There's an amazing Sylveon EX in this set that we're going to talk about, but this Eevee looks cool. We're also getting some more Eevee EX evolutions. Yeah, so something to look forward to. I got this is a different Execute that absorbs and does 10 and heals 10. Sunny Form, Cast Form, Mesprit. I'm amazed we haven't got any of the Uxie or the Mesprit yet. This is like the first Mesprit we got. Attach up to 2 basic Psychic Energy from your hand to your Pokemon any way you like, and then Guardian Burst. If you don't have Uxie or Ace Elf on your bench, this attack does nothing. So. Something there. It's a nice little one-prizer. 160 damage is pretty nice for a one-prizer. Latios. I'm kind of with the Latias, thank you. But this one, let's talk about this one. Skill Dive. This attack does 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Then Jet Headbutt does 110 damage. Decent. Yes, Koraidon. So, this is the one I'm talking about for the Ancient Box I've been working on. Kind of one of my favorite deck types. 130 damage, 130 HP is decent, but the real power here is Unrelenting Onslaught. 30 damage plus 150 more if one of your other ancient Pokemon use an attack during your last turn. So, 180 on a fighting type, where a lot of Pokemon now have a weakness to fighting. Some that come to mind, Terapagos EX, Pheasantipity EX. There's let's see. There are some other normal types, but kind of I think. But yeah, that's still 180 though. That's on a one prizer is pretty decent. My idea here with my Ancient Box, with Roaring Moon doing most of the attacking. If he gets knocked out, send this guy in. He can do 180 for 2 energy. But really, that's the problem with the that I've had with the Ancient Box deck is you have to rely really heavily on Roaring Moon. But this thing we can actually fall back on pretty well to attack with. Call Bell. We got Zerud again. Ooh, Ho-Oh. It's an uncommon Ho-Oh. Flab for 50, Shining Blaze. If you have any Tera Pokemon on your bench, this attack does 100 more, so 100 plus 100 is pretty decent, but 3 energy is kind of a high price. And Slacking EX. Look at this guy. 340 HP, that's nice. If your opponent has no Pokemon EX or Pokemon V in play, this Pokemon can't attack. So you're relying on your you're relying on your opponent having a good deck when you use this guy. Great Swing for 2 colorless energy, does a 280 damage, but you have to discard energy from this Pokemon. You can power it up easily with double turbo, but you'll lose the double turbo. You can use some of those boomerang energy. Get the energy back every turn, keep attacking. Your opponent has to have the EX Pokemon in play in order to keep it attacking, though. And it's got a retreat cost of 4, so those are the 2 biggest drawbacks. You can get around this, though. This guy's kind of a nice little swinger. Again, also stage 2, though. Yeah, I'm sure there's... I mean, if you're playing competitively, you're going to see EX and V Pokemon play. Unless, of course, they rely heavily on Snorlax. Like a Snorlax stall, in which case you might be in a little bit of trouble. We got Meryl, Rellor, Grapploct, Dino, Cyrano, Paldean Tauros, Bruxish, Yamask, Limit, and the rare Tapu Koko. Did we talk about this one yet? Summon 2 electric Pokemon, reveal them. Search your deck for 2 electric Pokemon, reveal them, put them into your hand, and then prize count. Yeah, I think we did. I compared it to a Luxray. It's very similar to Luxray, but it's not Luxray. I think the summoning lightning is pretty cool. Then again, Miraidon EX can kind of do that with its ability. Yeah, I think Miraidon EX probably be better, though. It wants to be Miraidon EX, but it's not. Scatterbug, Bouffalant, Feebas, Crocalor, Ninetales, Quaquaval, Grafaiai, Kecleon, Time, and the rare... Boom! Oh, missed. Boom. Togekiss. So, when your opponent's active Pokemon is knocked out, flip a coin. If heads, take 1 more prize card. The effect of Wonder Kiss does not stack. So, this is interesting. I can see some people using this, keeping it on the bench, just kind of... It'd be nice to like get an extra prize, but honestly, I don't know. Putting stage 2s in the deck as support does not go well. So it's cool, but I don't think it'll see play. I can see it using like with that Dusknoir that knocks itself out, being useful there. But I don't know. Maybe if your deck is worried about 1 prizers, then you might want to use it. Next pack, Drasna. Shuffle your hand into your deck, then flip a coin. If heads, draw 8 cards. If tails, you only draw 3. But there are better cards. Esper, Wattrel, Excadrill, Digging Claw, discard the top card of your opponent's deck, doing 20 damage. Then Drill Smash. If you have any steel Pokemon on your bench, this attack does 60 plus 80 more. Turtonator, Counter Gain, Altaria, Wattrel again, Flapple. There's a Flapple in here, and then there's an Appleton in here, and they're not that great. Acidic Spit does 20 for damage for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. That could be good, I guess. I don't know, I don't like it. And then the Gastron. This is good. This card right here. Sticky Bind. As long as this Pokemon's on the bench stage 2 Pokemon have no abilities. That's right. No Charizard ability. No Charizard EX. It has to be in the active. It can't. Yeah. If it's only if it's on the bench. If it's in the active spot, then it gets the ability. But that's gonna be annoying trying to move things around. So Charizard EX on the bench? Nope. No energy for you. Pidgeot on the bench? Forget about it. Dusknoir? You better move your button to the active spot if you want to use your ability, because this guy says no. This messes up a lot of Charizard decks, and I'm kind of happy to have it. Mudshot for 80, maybe see some play, but yeah, as long as this Pokemon is on your bench, yeah. So you gotta keep this guy on the bench. Keep him on the bench. If he gets boss ordered out, then it's gonna be problems. But yeah, keep it on the bench. And it's a stage 1, so it shouldn't be too hard to bring out. I kind of like that both forms of Gastrodon are on there too. Because everyone has their preference. Come to think of it, I don't think I've gotten any Shellos yet. Maybe I'll find one here. Tandemaus, Spupa, Donphin, Fuecoco, Cyrano, Paldean Tauros, Bruxish, Marill, Volcarona, and the rare is Palkia. Meh. We're in the home stretch here. 5 packs left. We've gotten some pretty decent pulls. Nothing mind-blowing. The precocious, whatever that one trolley card was great. I think I called it Precious Trolley. No, it's Precocious, I think. Quaxwell, Morlul, Helioptile, Capsakid, Vivillon, Dragon Elixir. Interesting item card. Heal 60 damage from your active dragon Pokemon. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's worth an item card. Xerneas, Exeggutor, Barrage Clock. Flip a coin for each energy attached to both active Pokemon. This deck does 60 more damage. Not the best Exeggutor. Alolan Exeggutor would be better. Clef Key. Smash or pass. No. Stick and draw. Discard a card from your hand. If you do, draw 2 cards. And then hook to do 20. It's not great. Yes! We got him! We got the Pikachu! Let's talk about it! Basic EX Pokemon, Electric 200 HP, not that great. Resolute Heart makes up for it. If this Pokemon has full HP and would be knocked out by damage from an attack, it is not knocked out and its remaining HP becomes 10. Then Topaz Bolt, 300 damage. You have to discard 3 energy from this Pokemon, but you gotta pay an electric, a grass, and a steel energy to get its attack off, which is not too hard. With the Terapagos we pulled earlier and the Magneton to actually get those energy back, it's possible to keep spamming 300 damage each turn. And if you combine it with, let's see, if you combine it with the Defiance Band, you can actually be doing 330 if you're down a prize card, which, if you're using Magneton, that's going to be possible. So, so yeah, Pikachu EX it's going to take 2 hits regardless of its HP. There are ways around it though. Dusknoir is the biggest pain it's going to have to deal with, because if they Dusknoir and then attack it with any 70 damage or more, and you attack 70 damage or more, then it's going to get knocked out. But after each attack, it's going to be out of energy. So, so yeah, you can throw that 300 around pretty well. Just beware of Dusknoir. That's good. And there's a lot of ways to get it out. Miraidon decks are going to love it. Yeah, Miraidon decks, they can just keep that on the bench and get their Area 0 underdepths going. Next pack, Mankey, Execute, Swablu, Rotom, Annihilate. This one's an interesting one. Tantrum, 130 for 1 fighting energy, but this Pokemon's confused. And then Destined Fight, both active Pokemon are knocked out. Wow, really? I thought Dusknoir was bad, but this one. I don't know. I could see it working. It might need Grand Tree for support. Maybe even Reversal Energy to get it to power up. I can see something being used here. But yeah, it's straight effect knocked out damage. I think Mist Energy would mess it up. I think Mist Energy only works for your opponent's effects, so attaching a Mist Energy to Annihilate would not prevent it. I'll have to look at that, though. Here we go, Gravity Mountain. We talked about one of the stadiums earlier, this one right here, though. First one gave plus 30 HP to basic Pokemon. This one takes away 30 HP from each Stage 2 Pokemon in play. So, there's a very nasty strategy with Serena EX, the Tera Pokemon from many sets ago, where it does damage, where it will put damage counters on, its attack will put damage counters on a Pokemon until the remaining HP is 30. If you did that, and then next turn played the Gravity Mountain, you could actually get the knockout with the Mountain on a Stage 2 Pokemon, which if they're playing a Stage 2 Pokemon, is probably going to be an EX in a serious battle. So, you just play that down, knock out that Stage 2 Pokemon, take 2 prize cards, and keep going with your turn because you haven't attacked yet. That is crazy, crazy, crazy. Alolan Dugtrio, that's garbage attack, not even going to give it the time of day. Spupa, we had Turtonator, and then you already saw the Flamigo EX. Okay, Flamigo EX, Precise Peak. If this Pokemon and your opponent's active Pokemon have the same amount of energy attached, this attack does 100 more damage. If you have 2 energy and they have 2 energy, that's probably what's going to end up happening. Same amount of energy, so yeah. So yeah, it can do 130, but that's meh. And then Brave Bird does 200 damage, but 30 damage to itself. I don't know. I don't like having low HP EX Pokemon. Unless they have really good abilities. I mean, if you liked Flamingo, there you go. Next one, Quaxwell. Morlul. Helioptile. Caps Kid. Kilowattrel. There's actually a Kilowattrel EX in this set. It's not the best Kilowattrel, not the best attacker, but the artwork looks pretty awesome. Lively Stadium. Morlul. Excadrill, and the rare is Tapu Lily. God, I really wish it was better because I gotten 3 of them already. This is a pretty big set, by the way. 191, and that's just the that doesn't include all the full arts and like ultra rares and stuff. Yeah. Skarmory, Tandemaus. Did we talk about the Skarmory? It doesn't matter. Tandemaus, Vampy. Oh, look at that Shellos. It's a water type, which is kind of cool. Yeah, I'm just looking at these two together. Cute. All right. Shellos, Latios, Koraidon, another one. Good. I won at least 2. Actually, I won 3, but I got another one somewhere. Zangoose, Fury Cutter. Flip 3 coins. If one of them is heads, attack does 20 more damage. 2 of them are heads, attack does 50 more damage. If all 3 of them are heads, attack does 80 more damage. So you can do 90 damage for 1 energy. It's not great. Duraludon, we just talked about, and the rare is Gouging Fire. Nice. Did we talk about this one at all? Lunge Out does 30. Blazing Charge does 100 plus 70 more for if you have 4. If your opponent has 4 or fewer prize cards. So, but yeah, it's an ancient Pokemon, which I like, but it is what it is. All right, last pack. Show me some love, guys. Show me some love, guys. We got Sigilyph. We got Duraludon. Sizzipede. Yamask. Shiinotic. Babiri. Magneton, yay. That's the 3rd one right there. Xerneas. Oh! Cerulege. Not the EX one, but that's okay. Look at that full art. Look at that thing. It looks sweet. Cursed Edge. Discard all special energy from your opponent's discard all special energy from all of your opponent's Pokemon. That would mess up a Lugia V-Star deck. And then Blaze Slash, 160, but this Pokemon can't attack during the next turn. If special energy were more of a thing, I'd be afraid of it. And then Eternatus. We didn't talk about the Eternatus. Dynablast, if your opponent's active Pokemon is an EX, attack does 80 more damage. World Ender. 230. This card of Stadium. Sorry, I was thinking about freaking Danganronpa 2, where Monokuma calls them World Ender. 230 during discard a Stadium in play. If you can't, this attack does nothing. So it wants to be Roaring Moon EX, but it's not Roaring Moon EX. All right, not a bad haul. So as you can see, I actually got some pretty good pulls from that one. Not my best yet, but still. Happy about Precious Trolley, happy about the Hydreigon EX, very happy about the Pikachu EX. These full art ones look pretty nice. The Milotic I might be able to make something out with. I don't know yet. And I included some other things. The Black Kyurem EX I got during the pre-release tournament. And the Doug Trio full art, so some pretty nice cards though. But that is going to wrap things up for this video, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to TimPlaysAGame, and stay tuned. I plan on getting a booster box of Surging Sparks when it does come out. Till then, this is Tim from TimPlaysAGame signing off. And have a good night, guys.